Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got something done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, I'm going to go over the secrets on how to make $1 million. And the truth is that there is no magic pill for how to make $1 million in today's society. Now, a lot of people think that it comes down to luck. Oh, you had to be lucky to have made $1 million. You had to be lucky to have started investing when interest rates were the lowest ever. I didn't know, or I could have done that. You know, I could have said those who invested in 2008 are lucky. When everything was crumbling down behind them, when they didn't know how low housing prices would go, when everybody else was trying to sell their home. No one wanted it. It was like a brand new car going down in value by 50% every single day. But those people who actually bought were lucky. That doesn't make any sense. You understand? It's like saying in the middle of a pandemic, when everyone else is worried about their health and their life, I decided to take steps to secure my financial future, and I am lucky because I did so. I always tell people that preparation meets opportunity, and that equals success. You can't be lucky without the down payment. You can't be lucky without having a good credit score. You can't be lucky without being financially stable and ready for this situation. Now, granted, there are so many vehicles out there for you to invest in real estate today, for you to invest in the stock market today, for you to open a business today. So many grants, especially for first-time home buyers. So many brokerages to start investing in the stock market. But there's always an excuse. There's always a hesitation. There's zero preparation. No one thinks about the future. They only think about right now. They only think about what risk can I take to secure $1,000, $100,000. At one point, I thought $96,000 a year was all the money I'd ever need to make in a year. And when I blew past that, I realized, you know what? Inflation is a real thing. If I was at $96,000 for the rest of my life, I'd probably be broke. Now, granted, you can invest and then you wouldn't be. You can invest in the stock market and you'd be A-okay. But just simply having the salary itself is not enough. And I did write a few things down, so don't mind me if I look down. I do want to let people know that building wealth takes time. So it's important to be focused and stay focused on your goals. Don't expect overnight success. Success is a journey and not a destination. At the end of the day, all the success that I've ever had can all be taken away tomorrow. But the knowledge that I have accumulated can easily get me back on the right path. I can easily get every single thing that I have today in a year. In 1 year, I can get every single thing I've had today. And so me knowing exactly what to do in order to get there is the biggest power that I have right now. And it's because of the experiences that I have made that have allowed me to now be able to navigate the trails that we call life, so that I can easily now know exactly what to do to get to A and B and C and D. Another thing that I wanted to say is that, most successful millionaires are those who are willing to take risks, because the higher the risk, the higher the reward. But I also wanted to let you know that there is no such shortcuts. It takes dedication, perseverance, and again, a willingness to take a risk. Are you ready to start your journey to financial freedom or financial success? Because that's what my channel is about. My channel has always been about financial freedom, the ability to not have to work for other people, the ability to choose whether or not you want to work or not. As a man, I understand that the majority of people, I studied the facts, I studied the history. The majority of people, once they stop working, they only live about 5 to 7 more years. It's because they don't have a purpose. So just because you reach financial freedom doesn't mean you have to stop working, doesn't mean you have to stop having purpose within your life. You can't just sit around on the beach all day. That gets boring. Trust me, I was in Dubai before I started working my previous job, and I got bored in less than 2 weeks. In less than 2 weeks, I was absolutely bored out of my mind. And I had brought my little brother with me, still bored after a while. There's only so much you can do. And so please don't think that financial freedom is a one-size-fits-all. All it means is that financially you need for nothing. And therefore, you can go out into this world and choose what exactly you want out of life. I was getting lowballed when I was going for job opportunities. I was getting lowballed when I was sitting down, talking about my experiences, talking about my skill set, talking about what I am capable of producing for this company. And you know what I said each and every time I got lowballed? Thank you, but no thank you. It's because I can afford to wait. I can afford to look back, sit back, and wait for an opportunity that is befitting of my time and energy. I know that my time is worth more, and therefore I will not allow myself to work for less. And there were some people who knew, okay, this person is worth more than what we're asking him to work for. However, we will still throw this out here because this is all we can offer. And to that, I respect it. I respect you trying to get the best talent for the cheapest price. However, when you are in a situation where you can dictate what you will work for, that is in itself a freedom that not many people have in this world. So, let's talk about my financial journey for like the third time. I absolutely love the stock market. I absolutely love stocks and companies that pay a dividend. And it's so cool just watching them grow. It's so cool watching my portfolio grow. This year alone, seeing tens of thousands of dollars going upward is a blessing. Over $20,000 in one account going up, so much money this year. And I've already posted that for everyone to see in one of my other videos where we talk about stocks. So please go ahead and watch that so you can see what I'm invested in. But then to also look at the real estate side, that typically goes up 4% every single year. I do want to let people know that real estate is not necessarily about paying down the mortgage and having a low interest rate. No, it's about offsetting the cost of the mortgage and building equity over time. You see, a lot of real estate investors will tell you equity, equity, equity. That's all that matters. That's how you make your millions, which is partially true, but it is not the whole truth. I would never tell someone to get into real estate and lose money on a deal that is not cash flowing. And yes, it might be high interest rates and it might come down, but I would never buy a deal in which I am losing money before I start to make money. It doesn't make any sense. If you read the Robert Kiyosaki book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he had almost bought a condo that would have lost him money every single month. If he had done so, he would not have been able to buy any additional properties because his debt to income ratio would have been too high. For all of you who don't know what your debt to income ratio is, that is when you have your income and then you start to add debt to your life. So if you make $3,000 a month, and you have a $200 car payment every single month, that $200 is now debt on top of your income, giving you only $2,800 to work with. If you have a revolving credit card balance, a lot of the times the bank will say, okay, we're going to take another $50 per month off because that would be your minimum payment. All in all, knocking you down $250, leaving your debt to income at maybe around what is that, like 8%? And so, that affects your ability to purchase a house when you only have $2,750 remaining to use for any housing expenses, and you can only use 45% of that income to actually purchase real estate. And so when you start to think about your debt to income ratio, losing money on a house month over month is not a good strategy when it comes time to purchase more real estate. You'll be stuck on the first one, unable to get out. And that's why I buy properties that I can invest in and that it will pay for itself, rather than buying a primary residence that is super big and super huge that's going to pigeonhole me to where I can't buy any more rentals. And so another thing I wanted to talk about is millionaires do not follow the crowds. We do not follow the packs. A lot of people do not invest in their 401k. A lot of people do not buy real estate or a primary residence for themselves to live in. Those who do are almost guaranteed to be millionaires by the time they're 65. That is how the majority, if not 90% of millionaires are made in America today, is by owning your primary residence and having a 401k and or a Roth IRA. And so when I decided to invest during the pandemic, I didn't know that interest rates were historically low. All I knew was that the price of housing was cheaper than what I was paying in rent, and it was time for a change. This was bigger, it was better than where I was living, and it offered me everything at a cheaper price. Why wouldn't I go for this? Yes, that down payment was probably a year's worth of rent, but it was still so worth it. And now it's paid for itself 10 times over, because I've had some long-term tenants who have literally paid more than the down payment at this point. And I'm so grateful for that as well. So with that being said, on the path to millions, it really does take dedication, hard work, consistency, persistence, and waiting on the right opportunities. It is not luck. It is preparation, so that when it is time to strike, you are absolutely ready. I was ready to buy Meta. I was ready to put $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 into Meta when I heard that they announced their virtual reality. And guess what? Now Meta is the highest stock in my entire portfolio, and it is producing tremendously for me. I just looked at their stock today and it was over $500. I remember when Facebook was $50. Now it is 10 times that 10 years later. Insane. There is always money to be made, not only in real estate, but in the stock market. Always money to be made. And the first thing you need to do is lower the debt or get it eradicated immediately. Because whether you're invested in stocks, whether you're saving money to get ready to purchase real estate, debt will hinder you in more ways than one. And the best way to not be hindered is to prepare yourself for those type of battles. so that you don't actually have to fight them when the time comes. You don't have to hear no's. All you have to hear is yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Because you have all your ducks in a row and everything in order. When people address me now, it is never, can you afford this? Can you do this? They know I can. They absolutely know I can. And so I don't get asked whether I can do something or I can't do something. Right? When I walk into a room, people know what I am capable of. And some don't know what I'm capable of. And that's the best feeling in the world. Because now I can prove my worth in every situation. Whether it's from my YouTube channel, whether it's from my investments, whether it's from my work life. I'm a manager at work as well. And so, it takes time to build. It takes time to grow and improve. How did I build in my workplace? Well, I just figured, managers make more than associates. So if I'm making more money, there's more that I can do with it. It was as simple as that. And so I said, you know what? Let me get into management. From managers, you then have directors. You then have regional directors. You then have all these other things like VPs and presidents. And so working your way to that level means that you'll also have more to essentially give, not only yourself, but to others. And so, no, investing is not luck. It is preparation. It is understanding. It is research. Whether in the stock market, whether in real estate, whether in business. You have to prepare. You have to do research. You have to be ready so that when the opportunity presents itself, you're able to strike. You're not lucky for paying attention. You're not lucky for putting in the work. Before I bought my first property, I had visited over 50 properties. Some days I would look at 3 properties in one day. I was running my real estate agent ragged every single day. We had to look at something else. But eventually, we struck gold. And then we struck again. And so, in the stock market, same thing. Looking through multiple companies, saving a few on my wish list, reviewing more details, understanding why I should invest in it, watching a few YouTube channels that talk about a particular stock or ETF, and then finally deciding, you know what, this is a great time to buy. It's heavily discounted. It is the stock that best suits me. It aligns with my personal goals and beliefs, and it makes money. All of these things that are important to take into account. And then you add the fact that it pays a dividend and it's growing year over year. And over 5 years, it's grown 130%. To where now you're getting monthly dividend payouts of almost $2,000. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And so, financial freedom is not end all be all, but it is a big part of my life. It is a big part of what I've wanted to accomplish. And, I'm just so proud to be able to say, like, hey, I got here. I've done this. We have done this. And I'm sorry about the lighting issue. I just fixed it. So if that is something that you're seeking, if you're seeking $1 million, if you're seeking $100,000, you have to work towards that. You have to be tunnel vision. You have to be disciplined. You have to delay gratification. You have to not be willing to seep into temptation. These are all difficult to do. I get tempted every single day. Today I wanted to buy a pizza. It's not like that's going to harm me in any way to buy some pizza, but I also had food that I could cook in the house. I also had other things that I had to do. I also had videos that I had to make. I also had to hit the gym. I also had to look at some properties today. I also had to say to myself, like, I don't really need that today. It's not going to benefit me in any way. It's not going to keep me in physical shape. I just got and left the gym. I have people who depend on me to teach those boxing classes. I can't be out of shape. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Had a real estate agent come up to me today in a nice Tesla. Beautiful Model Y. Same thing, same car I wanted. Of course, I can afford it cash right now today. But told myself I'm going to wait till my 30th birthday. Why? Why wait till your 30th birthday? Why not spoil yourself today? And I'm not telling everybody to do this, by the way, because, listen, you should live your life. But I didn't become a millionaire by spending money, right? Like, I think that's a big misconception that people have. Like, as soon as you get some money, they assume that, oh, all you have to do now is spend it, live lavish. And no, most people who have money have it for a reason. It's because they didn't spend it all, right? And so in order for me to get there, especially not making 6 figures a year, took a lot of discipline, took a lot of research, took a lot of investing. It took a lot of future-minded focus. And so because of that, now I have streams that outweigh what I actually make at my day job. But it doesn't mean that I splurge tremendously or endlessly. Now, granted, I do splurge on things so much more than I used to. I almost bought a Japanese sword just the other day for $760. A Japanese sword that I probably won't even use 2 times in my life. I love anime. What can I say? But it's so funny that, you know, those are the type of things that I'm looking at now to say, you know what, this is what I want. Why not go ahead and get it? And eventually I will get it. I will pay for an $800 sword that I'll never use in life. Why? Because I can. Because it doesn't affect me in any way. Because it's not even a fraction of what I make in a month. And so, you know, those are the type of things that, although I still delay gratification, I didn't buy it right away, and I'm still not buying it just yet. I know that I will. There's no necessarily goal that I need to meet before I go and get it. But it is something that, you know, is not a necessity. I know I don't need it. What is the use, right? What is the use outside of my own enjoyment or my own pleasure for that one day, right? And so when you think about it like that, you're like, you know what? I don't need that right now. And then if something else comes up where I could have used that $800 maybe for an investment or something else, and I just wanted to put everything I had into that basket, now I can do that. And now I was prepared. Now I was ready for that opportunity. It's not luck. It's discipline. It's saying not today, maybe tomorrow. And so when you start to shift that mindset to think about, hey, what it is that I truly want out of life, it's obviously not a sword that I want out of life, right? That's not going to change my life one way or another. But it's what comes from saving that money. It's what comes from not being in debt. It's what comes from being disciplined. And so I hope I answered a lot of your questions today. If you have more questions for me, please make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. Now, you know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube, Rumble, and now on Spotify. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.